I'm Kimberly Peterson, Chief of Police with the Fremont Police Department. The goal of this video is to provide you detailed information on the officer-involved shooting which occurred April 1st, 2021, as well as to walk you through the video evidence. I will provide you specific facts about the incident, show you video evidence, and we will also post this and the video to our transparency portal. Here are some brief facts. This is the third officer-involved shooting we've experienced since the start of 2021. The incident occurred on April 1st, 2021 at 6:25 p.m. The location was in the parking lot of the Hyatt Place Hotel, located in the 3100 block of West Warren Avenue. The involved officers who fired their weapons were Detective Grant Gepp, a 6-year veteran of the Fremont Police Department, and Detective Josh Harvey, an 11-year veteran of the Fremont Police Department. In total, there were 11 officers on the scene within a few moments of when the shooting occurred. 9 officers had body cameras, 2 undercover officers did not. Of the 9 body camera recordings, 5 officer views showed the incident from various perspectives, and you will see all of them here. 4 camera views were either blocked or did not show the shooting because the officer arrived after it occurred. The suspect in this incident was Stephen Patrick Moseley, a 36-year-old Fremont resident. The following items were recovered at the scene. The suspect's weapon was a Bauer Firearms Corporation, a .25 semi-automatic firearm, fully loaded with 1 round in the chamber. It was recovered next to the suspect's body. The gun was later determined to be a stolen firearm. We also recovered approximately 2.7 ounces of suspected methamphetamine, and this was recovered from his person. Suspect Moseley had prior arrests for stolen vehicles, drug possession and sales, multiple firearm possessions, brandishing of a firearm, home invasion, burglary, fighting with police, fleeing from police both on foot and in vehicles, assault with a deadly weapon, multiple probation and parole violations, and other illegal weapons violations. Had Stephen Moseley survived, the Fremont Police Department would have sought charges for Penal Code 245-D2, assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer, Penal Code 148A1, resisting arrest or delaying an arrest, Penal Code 29800, felon in possession of a firearm, Health and Safety Code 11378, possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. Stephen Moseley had several outstanding felony warrants. There were 2 warrants for vehicle theft, 1 outstanding warrant for drug possession with intent to sell, 1 outstanding warrant for a felony probation violation related to weapons possession. Here are the details of the officer-involved shooting. I want to start by giving you a bit of context on what has been going on the last few months in Fremont. Since the beginning of 2021, Fremont, like many other major cities across the U.S., has experienced a sharp increase in gun-related crime, including shootings. In 2019, we made 27 separate arrests involving a firearm. In 2020, that number rose to 44. Fremont has averaged about 20 shootings per year since 2017, with 19 shootings in the year 2020. However, this year, we've already experienced 12 shooting incidents prior to April, including 2 other officer-involved shootings where subjects fired a gun at police officers, causing us to return fire in self-defense. We also had 1 homicide during a home invasion robbery where a suspect was shot by one of the residents. In response to this increase in gun-related crime, we have established an internal gun violence reduction team, bringing several of our investigative team members together to make an effort to proactively prevent or deter shootings and investigate them when they do occur. We are also working with Youth and Family Services on the social services aspect of gun violence prevention. With that context in mind, we'll go into the details of the recent officer-involved shooting. On Thursday, April 1st, 2021, at about 5 p.m., detectives from the newly created Gun Violence Reduction Team were attempting to locate known offender Stephen Moseley. Based on recent contacts with Moseley and information developed over the past month, our detectives were informed Moseley was in possession of a firearm, and they confirmed multiple outstanding felony warrants for his arrest. Detectives were able to locate Moseley and his vehicle at the Hyatt Place Hotel, located at 3101 West Warren Avenue, Fremont, California. Officers attempted to determine which room Moseley was inside, but when they weren't successful, they decided to make an arrest as he exited the building and walked to his vehicle. The detectives put together a plan with the goal to safely arrest Moseley. Part of the standard planning included contingencies for de-escalation options and the immediate availability of less-than-lethal tools. When Moseley exited the west side door of the Hyatt Place Hotel, we believe he spotted our detectives sitting outside the door in an unmarked vehicle because he immediately began to run in a northbound direction through the parking lot. Upon seeing Moseley begin to run and realizing they had been spotted, detectives turned on their vehicle lights and siren. Officer Howe, a Fremont Police canine handler, gave commands to his canine partner to assist with stopping the suspect from fleeing. As Moseley ran northbound toward the northern parking lot of the Hyatt Place Hotel, Detective Gepp advised he could see what appeared to be a gun in Moseley's right hand. The police canine was able to quickly catch up to Moseley and latch onto Moseley's arm, which resulted in Moseley falling to the ground. As this was occurring, Detective Gepp exited his vehicle and could see that Moseley had a silver firearm in his right hand. After falling to the ground, Moseley began to punch the police canine multiple times and pointed the gun at the dog's head. Detective Harvey ran up to assist with the apprehension of Moseley when he also saw the silver firearm in Moseley's right hand. Detective Harvey and Detective Gepp began yelling, "Gun!" to alert the other officers to the fact Moseley had a gun in his hand, as other officers were also arriving on scene. In an effort to de-escalate and create distance, detectives who were initially moving toward Moseley and the canine in an effort to take him into custody began backing up and moving to cover behind their cars. They shouted several times to put the gun down. During the next few seconds, while Moseley was fighting with the canine, Moseley pointed the silver firearm twice at detectives who were in close proximity. During this time, Detective Gepp, fearing the suspect would shoot at him or other officers, fired his department-issued firearm at Moseley. Simultaneously, Detective Harvey also saw Moseley point the firearm toward him and toward other officers. He too fired his department-issued firearm at Moseley. After Moseley was hit with the officers' rounds, he stopped moving and was detained in handcuffs. Detectives rendered trauma care in an attempt to save his life. He was pronounced deceased at the scene by Fremont Fire Department at 6:34 p.m. The .25 caliber handgun was located near Moseley's hand and had to be kicked away from him before he was taken into custody. The firearms magazine was fully loaded with one round in the chamber. The entire event time between initial contact when the suspect began running and when the rounds were fired was 25 seconds. During this incident, Officer Howe's verbal commands were not working to get the dog to release Moseley's arm. It's our expectation, and we do train to ensure the dog can be recalled from a distance verbally. We also have redundancies in place in case a verbal command doesn't work. The first redundancy is the electronic collar. In this instance, the handler tried activating his e-collar several times to no avail. We believe we had an equipment failure with the e-collar. We have now replaced the e-collar, and we're retraining and recertifying the canine to ensure we're able to recall the dog effectively from a distance. However, it is possible, and I believe, that the use of the canine may have saved officer lives on this day. During the interviews of Officer Gepp and Officer Harvey, they stated they discharged their service weapons because they were in fear for their lives, the lives of their fellow officers, and the public. It was later determined that Detective Gepp fired his weapon 7 times. Detective Harvey fired 2 times. The canine received minor injuries from the suspect during the event. The Alameda County District Attorney's Office officer-involved shooting team was contacted at the outset of the investigation and was requested to complete an independent and parallel investigation. Representatives from their office were present for the initial investigation and for the interviews with the involved officers. The Alameda County Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy of Moseley and stated he was struck 5 times, determining the cause of death as multiple gunshot wounds. The video you are going to watch is a compilation of security camera video and body-worn camera video. As noted before, by the end of the incident, there were 11 officers on scene. 9 officers had body-worn cameras, 2 undercover officers did not. Of the 9 recordings, 5 captured pertinent video, recording at least part of the incident from various angles. 4 recordings either had little or no view of the incident or the officers arrived after the shooting occurred. We have put the videos together in a way we believe provides the best understanding of what occurred. What you will see in this video is a combination of footage from the hotel surveillance cameras and officers' body-worn cameras. Then you will see an overhead view of the scene. We've overlaid the perspectives to orient you and to show you where the officers were standing while the cameras recorded. For each camera view, we will show you the incident in real time and then again using slow motion and zoom effects to spotlight crucial details from the investigation.
Show me your fucking hands! Shots fired. Shots fired at Hyatt Place. Start medical code 3. Go, go, go. Gun, 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 gun! 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 Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Give me a shield. Chris, back up! Chris, get back to me. Come back to me. Gun! Gun! Drop the gun!
Hey, dog on bike. He ran northbound. Hey, gun, gun, gun! 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 Drop the fucking gun! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Hey, we got shots fired.
Drop the gun!
Dogs on bike, start 1141 code 3.
This is a case where, in response to a sharp increase in shootings, our officers were asked to arrest a violent offender suspected of possessing a weapon. Although they attempted to use a canine as a less than lethal option, the suspect still chose to confront us with a gun. This event resulted in a tragic loss of life. The members of our department deeply value the sanctity of life and dedicate themselves to protecting others at the risk of their own safety. I'm grateful none of our officers were injured, and I want to thank them for being willing to stand between violent offenders and the community.